Hello. It's good to see you. Today we are going to be reading a few recipes here. I haven't had a chance to look at this book yet, but I think these would be very simple recipes, kind of like comfort food. This book features recipes cooking with eggs and cheese, two of my favorite things. And this looks actually very yummy. I mean, the picture is kind of yellowed, but just imagine it's like a regular color. It's a macaroni and cheese. It's got the cheese coming down the sides, and we have these sliced tomatoes on top, like little Roma tomatoes. Oh, I could eat that. I love macaroni and cheese. These books are great because they have all kinds of neat things in here, like equivalent measures, metric measurements, kitchen metrics. You can convert cups to milliliters, teaspoons to milliliters, oven temperatures, home kitchen food storage. This is really nice. Look at all these things, and it's alphabetized. And you can see how long you can keep it if stored. You know, like they tell you how to store it, the best way to store these foods. It's really useful. Like, you know, you can store pie crust mixes for 6 months, peanut butter for 6 months, but only 2 months after opening. All kinds of things. It's very useful. Refrigerator storage for all kinds of things. We have food measure equivalents and even useful substitutions. So it's really great. I'm going to come on over here to good, better, best. An omelet is in a way the egg's greatest achievement. I don't think an egg's greatest achievement would be a chicken, but that's just, they're not all destined to be chickens. Deliciously filled or garnished, puffed high the American way. That sounds funny. Puffed high the American way. Just imagine like Willie Nelson, like, yeah. Alright. Or slimly, elegantly French. It just sounds way more sophisticated. Instead of doing them puffed high the American way. Anyway. If you want to make just a plain old omelet, that is our very first recipe here. This makes 1 serving. To make a just plain omelet, you need 3 eggs, 1 tablespoon of water, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a dash of pepper or a few dashes of hot pepper sauce, and a tablespoon of butter or margarine. Put eggs, water, salt, and pepper into blender container. Cover, blend at low speed just until thoroughly mixed. Heat omelet pan, add butter, swirl around in pan to coat bottom and sides. Pour egg mixture into pan. Stir rapidly with fork until eggs just begin to set. Tilt pan, lifting set edge of eggs with spatula to allow uncooked eggs to run to bottom of pan. Shake skillet occasionally to keep omelet moving freely in pan. Cook until omelet is set but still moist on top. Tilt skillet, fold omelet with spatula, turn out onto serving plate. You can make an herb omelet with a little modification. Start blender at medium speed. While blender is running, tip center cap and add 2 tablespoons of cut up parsley sprigs or 1 tablespoon of cut up fresh tarragon, chives, chervil, or basil leaves, blending until chopped. Proceed as for just plain omelet. Or a cheese omelet. Prepare 2 tablespoons of grated Swiss or cheddar cheese and set aside. Proceed as for just plain omelet. Sprinkle with cheese before folding. Or a Western omelet. Put just plain omelet ingredients except water into blender container. Add a 1/4 cup of diced cooked ham, 2 strips of green pepper, 1 slice of onion, and 1 slice of tomato. Cover, blend at medium speed until green pepper and onion are chopped. Proceed as for just plain omelet. Oh my stars, we have a gourmet omelet if you want to get fancy. This makes 4 omelets. You need 1/4 cup plus 4 tablespoons of Land O'Lakes unsalted butter divided. You can use whatever butter you want. 2 cups of cubed 1/4 inch French bread, 1/4 cup of chopped walnuts, 1/4 teaspoon of onion salt, 1/2 cup of water, 8 eggs, 1 teaspoon of fresh chopped chives, 1/2 teaspoon of summer savory, 1/8 teaspoon of freshly ground pepper, and 1 cup of shredded Gouda cheese. In an 8-inch pan or skillet, melt a 1/4 cup of butter. Add bread, walnuts, and onion salt and saute over medium heat, stirring occasionally until lightly browned and crisp, 5 to 7 minutes. Remove from pan and set aside. In 1.5 quart bowl, combine water, eggs, chives, summer savory, and pepper. Beat with wire whisk until blended. In same 8-inch pan, melt 1 teaspoon butter over medium heat. When butter sizzles, pour in 1/2 cup of egg mixture. As omelet mixture sets, lift slightly with a spatula to allow uncooked portion to flow underneath. When set, 1 to 2 minutes, place 2 tablespoons each croutons and Gouda cheese on half of omelet. Gently fold other half of omelet over filling. Slide omelet onto serving plate. Sprinkle top of omelet with 2 tablespoons each of croutons and cheese. Repeat with the remaining 3 omelets. Never been a huge fan of omelets. They're alright. Gosh, they give you all kinds of things. They have a whole section here on the ultimate omelets, and they show you pictures step by step how to make ultimate omelets. Ooh, fluffy cottage cheese omelets. I've never made an omelet with cottage cheese. My goodness. So this is the gourmet omelet we just read about. Made to order omelets. That's just fried eggs. I don't know. To make fluffy cottage cheese omelets, here's what you need, and this is going to make 4 servings. You need 4 eggs separated, 3 tablespoons of water, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/8 teaspoon of pepper, 1/2 cup of creamed cottage cheese, 1 thin slice onion, 4 sprigs of parsley, 1 tablespoon of butter or margarine, and that's it. Heat oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Put egg yolks, water, salt, pepper, cottage cheese, onion, and parsley into blender container. Cover, blend at high speed until smooth. Beat egg whites in large bowl with electric mixer until stiff but not dry. Gently fold in egg yolk mixture. Heat butter in skillet with heat-proof handle until bubbly but not browned. Add egg mixture. Cook on low heat for 4 to 5 minutes or until omelet is puffy and underside is golden. Put skillet in oven. Bake 10 to 15 minutes or until omelet is dry and lightly browned on top. Loosen edges with spatula. Slip gently onto warm serving plate and serve immediately. I kind of want to try that. That sounds interesting. I've never heard of making an omelet with cottage cheese. It's got a lot of steps to it, though. I would like to try it, but if I'm being honest, it will probably never happen. These are all omelets. Oh no, we've moved beyond it. We do have a papaya omelet. A papaya omelet? Oh my. This makes 2 omelets. You need 1/2 of a soft calavo papaya. Calavo papaya. I don't know how you say that. Seeded and cut it into width-wise wedges. 1 tablespoon of creamed sherry. 1 tablespoon of brandy. 1/2 cup of sour cream. 2 tablespoons of firmly packed brown sugar. 2 tablespoons of butter or margarine. 6 eggs. 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of cold water, 10 strawberries, Hold and cut into halves. Save 2 for garnish. Place papaya wedges, cream sherry, and brandy into a shallow bowl. Cover and allow to marinate overnight. In small bowl, whip sour cream until fluffy. Gradually add brown sugar. Set aside. Break the eggs into a medium bowl. Add salt and cold water. Beat eggs briskly for 25 to 30 seconds, just enough to blend the yolks and whites. Melt 1 tablespoon of butter into a 7-inch omelet pan. When butter begins to foam, add half of the eggs. As edges of omelet set, tilt pan and lift edges of omelet with spatula to move cooked portion toward center of pan. Allow uncooked egg to run under firm portion. Continue to tilt and move eggs until the omelet is firm. Place half marinated papaya and half halved strawberries on one side of the omelet. Fold other side into half moon shape to cover the filling. Repeat with remaining butter, eggs, and fruit for second omelet. To serve, spoon sour cream topping over each omelet. Garnish with whole strawberry. Very nice. Oh, we have baking. Oh my goodness, look at this. Wow, that looks delicious. Baking theme and variations. Oven-baked breads, griddle-baked waffles, and pancakes, all richly flavorful because of their egg or cheese, or sometimes both ingredients. This is a golden cheese bread. That looks really yummy. Now this makes 2 loaves of this bread. You need 1 package, 1/4 ounce of active dry yeast, half a cup of lukewarm water, 105 to 115 degrees Fahrenheit, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 cup of liquid carnation non-fat dry milk, 2 tablespoons of butter, 1½ teaspoons of salt, 3½ to 4 cups of all-purpose flour, 1½ cups or 6 ounces of shredded sharp cheddar cheese. Dissolve yeast in water. Stir in sugar, liquid non-fat milk, butter, and salt. Stir in 3¼ cups of flour. Knead on floured board until smooth and elastic. Work in additional flour about 8 minutes. Place in buttered bowl. Brush with butter. Cover. Let rise in warm place until doubled. Punch down. Turn out onto floured board. Roll out to 12 by 14-inch rectangle. Sprinkle cheese over dough. Roll starting at long end, cutting into 1-inch sections. Cut sections into quarters. Divide dough evenly between 2 buttered 8½ by 4½ by 2½ inch loaf dishes. Cover and let rise in warm place until doubled. Bake in slow oven, 325 degrees Fahrenheit, 25 to 30 minutes. Remove and cool. That looks really good. Now here's something I've never heard of. It's like a contradiction. Cheese bran muffins. That would be like taking no-dos and Salmonex at the same time. Because like cheese binds you up and you got the bran. I guess it just cancels each other out. Sorry. How do you make cheese bran muffins? That sounds kind of yucky. Let me read about it though. Now this is going to make 12 muffins. You need 1½ cups of all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1¼ cups of milk, 1 cup of wheat bran cereal, 1/3 cup of vegetable oil, 1 egg lightly beaten, 1/2 cup of shredded cheddar cheese. Combine flour, sugar, baking powder, and salt. Set aside. Combine milk and cereal. Let stand 5 minutes. Stir oil and egg into cereal mixture. Add cereal mixture to flour mixture and then add cheese. Stir just until flour is moistened. Spoon into well-greased or paper-lined muffin pans. Preheat oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Bake 20 to 25 minutes until toothpick inserted in center comes out clean. That's interesting. I've never heard of cheese bran muffins before. Here we have a recipe for chili cheese cornbread. Oh, I bet that's good. A chili cheese cornbread. This makes 6 servings. You need 1 cup of cornmeal, half a cup of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 small onion chopped, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 8-ounce can of cream-style corn, a 4-ounce can of chopped green chilies, undrained, 1/3 of a cup of milk, 2 eggs lightly beaten, 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 6 fully cooked beef or pork sausage links sliced, and a half a cup of shredded Munster cheese. Combine cornmeal, flour, baking powder, onion, and salt. Blend corn, chilies with liquid, milk, eggs, and oil. Stir into cornmeal mixture until combined. Add sausage and stir to mix. Pour into a greased 9-inch square baking dish. Sprinkle with cheese. Preheat oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Bake for 25 to 30 minutes until toothpick inserted in center comes out clean. I was expecting it to have chili. Like a chili. I mean, it has chili, the green chilies, but I was thinking chili. That still sounds good. Let's see. Cheese crisps. Well, you can make 96 crisps with this recipe. Wow. How do you make cheese crisps? It looks like it's pretty simple. You need 1 cup of butter or margarine softened, 2 cups or 8 ounces of shredded sharp cheddar cheese, 2 cups of sifted Martha White self-rising flour, 2 cups of crispy rice cereal, and 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne. Just says cayenne. Preheat oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Combine all ingredients in bowl. Blend well. Use floured fingers to shape into balls the size of large grapes. Place on ungreased baking sheets. Press lightly with fork to 1/4 inch thickness. Bake 20 minutes or until golden brown. Transfer to wire racks to cool. Store in airtight container. Well, that sounds easy. Over here we have waffles, pancakes. Here we have a recipe for ricotta and apple pancakes, and this is going to make 4 servings. You need 1 cup of Papaya ricotta. They just use certain brands, it doesn't matter. 3 eggs lightly beaten. So 2 tablespoons of Papaya butter melted. 1/4 of a cup of grated pared apple. A pinch of salt. 2 tablespoons of grated orange rind. About 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. Sour cream or Papaya ricotta. Syrup, Papaya, honey, or jam. Combine ricotta with the next 5 ingredients and mix thoroughly. Gradually add just enough flour to make a thin batter. Drop by tablespoons full on well-greased hot griddle and brown on both sides. Serve hot with a dab of sour cream or Papaya ricotta on each pancake, or with your favorite syrup, Papaya, honey, or jam. Now, I do love cheese biscuits. Now, that is something I like to make. It's very easy to do. Honestly, the way I do it, I don't do anything crazy. I just get Bisquick. It's a mix called Bisquick and some shredded cheese, and I just go ahead and make the biscuits like normal. You can use Bisquick to make pancakes, waffles, biscuits, all kinds of bread. And I just add, however much cheddar, like some shredded cheddar cheese. If I want to put a little or a lot, you can just do it any way you want to. Just make it by the regular instructions and just add cheese to it. That's all. It's very easy. But this recipe is going to make a dozen biscuits. Now that's American biscuits. Now I know in some parts of the world a biscuit is a cookie. This is not. It's like a scone but not sweet. 2 cups of prepared biscuit mix. So biscuit. This is my freaking recipe. 1/2 cup of grated sharp cheddar cheese and 2/3 of a cup of milk. This is basically what I do. Combine biscuit mix and cheese in a bowl. Stir in milk and blend lightly. Turn out onto lightly floured board. Knead gently about 10 times. Pat out dough to 1/2 inch thickness and cut in rounds with 2-inch biscuit cutter. Place on unoiled baking sheet. Bake in a preheated 450-degree oven for 10 to 15 minutes. Yeah, that's basically what I do. It's very simple and they're really good. And they smell really good too. We have some quiches, which makes sense in this recipe book. We have a quick cheese quiche. This makes 1 quiche. You need 2 tablespoons of butter or margarine, 1 small onion chopped, 4 strips of bacon, crisp cooked and crumbled, 3 eggs lightly beaten, 4 ounces of grated sharp cheddar cheese, 1/2 cup of Martha White Bix Mix. I've never heard of this. Probably like Bisquick. 1.5 cups of milk, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of dry mustard, a dash of cayenne, and 3.5 ounces of sliced mushrooms drained, and that's optional. I hate mushrooms, I'll leave it out. Preheat oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Butter a 10-inch quiche or pie pan or a 9-inch square baking pan and set aside. Melt butter in small saucepan. Saute onion and butter until transparent. Combine onion, bacon, eggs, cheese, baking mix, milk, and seasonings in a bowl. Mix thoroughly. Stir in mushrooms. Pour into prepared pan. Bake 35 minutes or until knife inserted in center comes out clean. Let stand 5 minutes. Cut into wedges or squares. And then we have our cheese quiche down here. This one makes 6 to 8 servings. You need 1 unbaked 10-inch pie shell, 6 strips of bacon cooked until crisp and crumbled, 1 can, 10 3/4 ounces, Campbell's condensed cheddar cheese soup, 6 egg yolks, a dash of Tabasco pepper sauce, 6 egg whites stiffly beaten, bacon curls, C-index, chopped chives. The pie shell should have a high fluted edge. Sprinkle crumbled bacon into pie shell. Combine cheddar, cheese soup, and egg yolks and beat until well blended. Stir in Tabasco sauce. Fold in beaten egg whites. Pour mixture into pie shell. Bake in a preheated 325-degree oven 40 to 45 minutes until puffed and golden brown. Serve warm, cut into wedges. Garnish with bacon curls and chopped chives. I'm going to go to the index because I'm curious to know what the heck bacon curls are. Is it just bacon that's been cooked and it's curled up? We're going to find out. The index for bacon curls sends you to page 55, and I found this right here. Bacon curls. Cook slices of Armour Star bacon until almost crisp. Roll each slice around the tines of a fork to make a curl. Cook until crisp. Drain on absorbent paper. Okay, so that's how you make a bacon curl. Well, that's cool. Let's see. That's about where we were. They could have just told me to look at page 55. Oh, we have a potato cheese pie. This makes 6 servings of potato cheese pie. You need 3 pounds of potatoes. My God. 1 serving's going to have 2 pounds of potatoes. Whew. Goodness gracious. 3 tablespoons of Polly-O butter. That's just the brand name Polly-O. You can use any kind. It's not some weird kind of butter. Half a cup of milk, half a cup of Palio Parmesan or Romano cheese, 2 eggs beaten, salt and pepper to taste, Palio breadcrumbs, Palio mozzarella thinly sliced, and additional butter. Palio makes everything, sounds like. Preheat oven to 375 degrees. Boil potatoes in jackets until tender. Like a blazer, or do I need to go get in the closet and get some of my jackets out? Peel and mash or force through a ricer. Add butter, milk, grated cheese, eggs, salt, and pepper. Beat until creamy and light. Butter an 8-inch pie plate and sprinkle with breadcrumbs. Arrange half of the mashed potatoes in a layer in prepared pie plate. Cover completely with mozzarella slices and top with remaining mashed potatoes. Sprinkle with breadcrumbs and dot with butter. Bake until top is golden brown and crusty. Golden brown and crusty, it's me in the summertime. Ooh, Crepes Gorgonzola, look at that. Crepes Gorgonzola. What? I want to see that. Crepes Gorgonzola. Here we go. Crepes Gorgonzola. This makes 6 servings. You need 2/3 of a cup of unsifted all-purpose flour, half a teaspoon of salt, 3 eggs, 1½ cups of milk, 1/4 of a cup of butter or margarine melted, half a cup of minced green onion, half a cup of butter, 1/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of milk, 1 cup of crumbled aged Italian Gorgonzola cheese, 1 egg yolk, 1/3 of a cup of grated Parmesan cheese, and 1½ cups of broccoli flowerettes cooked and drained. In blender container, combine flour, salt, eggs, 1½ cups of milk, and 1½ tablespoons of melted butter. Blend until smooth. Stir in green onion. Cover and refrigerate at least 2 hours. Brush bottom and sides of 7-inch crepe pan with melted butter. Heat. Pour in 1/4 of a cup of batter, tilting pan to coat evenly. Cook over medium heat until golden. Place between sheets of waxed paper. Repeat to use all batter. Meanwhile, melt 1/4 of a cup of butter in saucepan. Add flour. Cook, stirring until bubbling. Gradually blend in milk. Cook, stirring until thick and smooth. Remove from heat. Blend in 3/4 of a cup of Gorgonzola, egg yolk, 1/4 of a cup of Parmesan. Heat, stirring. Do not boil. Blend 1 cup of sauce with broccoli. Use to fill crepes. Roll up. Place in shallow oven-proof dish. Top with remaining sauce. Bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 to 15 minutes. Top with remaining cheeses. Bake several minutes longer. Oh, that sounds yummy. You can also make a Swiss souffle with this little recipe. And one thing I like about a lot of these recipes that I'm seeing so far is that they do look pretty simple. They don't have a ton of ingredients, and you don't have a lot of steps. A lot of them actually look pretty straightforward and simple. So here, I learned from every 80s TV sitcom that souffles are impossible, and something wacky will happen to cause it to fall. You will never successfully make a souffle. But it won't be something that you did. It will be out of your control, and your wacky neighbor or somebody will do something and make your souffle fall. That's just how it works when you make a souffle, according to 80s TV shows. So for this one, we have the Swiss souffle, and this makes 6 servings. You're going to need 1/4 of a cup of butter or margarine, 1/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour, 1½ cups of milk, 3 cups of shredded Swiss cheese, 1 teaspoon of salt, 6 eggs separated, 2 tablespoons of Lea & Perrins Worcestershire sauce. In the top portion of a double boiler, melt butter. Blend in flour. Stir in milk. Cook and stir until thickened. Add cheese and salt. Place over hot water. Cook and stir until cheese melts. Remove from heat. In a large bowl, beat egg yolks. Gradually stir in cheese sauce. Beat until well blended. Stir in Lee and parents. Beat egg whites until soft peaks form. Gently fold into cheese mixture. Turn into a 2-quart straight-sided souffle dish with only the bottom buttered. Place in a larger pan. Pour hot water into the larger pan to a depth of 2 inches. Bake in a preheated slow oven, 325 degrees, until souffle is firm, about 1 hour and 10 minutes. If souffle is browning too fast, cover lightly with a sheet of aluminum foil. This souffle holds well for 10 minutes after removing from oven until your wacky neighbor comes in and slams something and makes it fall. Now we can't go without reading at least a couple of dessert recipes because I love dessert. Look at that. Oh. So sweet, so pretty. Both eggs and cheese are splendid in desserts of all kinds, from simple to elaborate, particularly in easy do and make-ahead specials. Yes. Ooh, here we have a recipe for an apple cream cheese coffee cake. This makes 4 to 6 servings. You need a 3-ounce package of cream cheese, 1/4 cup of firm margarine or butter, 2 cups of Bisquick baking mix, 1/3 cup of milk, cream cheese filling, recipe follows, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 20-ounce can of apple pie filling, and 1/4 cup of chopped walnuts. Cut cream cheese and margarine into baking mix. Stir in milk. Turn dough onto cloth-covered surface, well dusted with baking mix. Gently roll in baking mix to coat. Knead lightly 8 to 10 times. Roll into rectangle 12 by 8 inches. Place on lightly greased cookie sheet. Spread cream cheese filling down center of rectangle. Make cuts 2.5 inches long and 1 inch intervals on 12-inch sides of rectangle. Fold strips over filling, overlapping. Mix sugar and cinnamon, sprinkle over top. Cover and refrigerate up to 24 hours or bake immediately. Heat oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. Bake uncovered until golden, 12 to 15 minutes, cool 10 minutes. Carefully place on wire rack, cool completely. Spoon pie filling down center of coffee cake. Sprinkle with walnuts. Refrigerate any remaining coffee cake. To do the cream cheese filling, you're going to need an 8-ounce package of cream cheese, softened, 1/3 cup of sugar, a teaspoon of grated lemon peel, and 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. Beat all ingredients until well mixed, and that's how you do the filling. Oh, look at that. What in the world? That is beautiful. This is the hazelnut eggnog cheesecake. This is going to be our last recipe. This looks delicious. I love hazelnuts. I'm not a huge fan of eggnog, although I did a video trying eggnog back at Christmas time last year, and everybody said I just got bad eggnog or inferior eggnog or whatever. We don't have eggnog specialty stores here. I just bought the eggnog that was available. And everybody said I would have liked it better if I had gotten better eggnog. I didn't realize. I didn't know. I didn't like it. Anyway, I don't know. This might be pretty good. Let's see what we have in this here. Now this hazelnut eggnog cheesecake makes 10 to 12 servings in this recipe. I kind of want to make it. 1.5 cups of packaged graham cracker crumbs, 4 tablespoons of butter or margarine melted, 2/3 cup plus 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 packages, 8 ounces each, plus 1 3-ounce package of cream cheese softened. I don't even know where you get a 3-ounce package of cream cheese. Is it just like one of the little tubs? I don't know. 1 cup of heavy cream divided, 3 large eggs, 2 egg yolks, 1/4 cup of Kuyper hazelnut liqueur. I think I said that right. Grated nutmeg and chopped hazelnuts for garnish, which is optional. That just looks so good. Okay. Butter a 9-inch springform pan. I have one of those. In a small bowl, combine crumbs, butter, and 2 tablespoons of sugar. Mix well. Pat mixture over bottom and 2 inches up sides of prepared pan. Chill. In the large bowl of an electric mixer, beat cream cheese until smooth. Gradually add a 1/2 cup of heavy cream, beating constantly. Beat in remaining 2/3 of a cup of sugar. Add eggs and egg yolks one at a time, blending well after each addition. Do not overbeat. Stir in liqueur. Pour batter into prepared pan. Sprinkle with nutmeg. Bake in a 350-degree oven for 45 to 50 minutes until top of cake is dry. Cool at room temperature 1 hour. Loosen sides of pan with a spatula and remove. Chill several hours before serving. Whip remaining 1/2 cup of cream. Garnish cake with whipped cream and hazelnuts if desired. That really sounds really yummy. You'd have to make it in advance. You gotta cook it, you gotta cool it, and then you have to chill it for several hours. And yeah, but I bet that's really good. Wow, yummy. I always like to look at the desserts. It's my favorite part. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed getting to hear these recipes today and learning how to cook things with eggs and cheese. It's a whole lot. You could cook with eggs and cheese for every step of the process, for your appetizers, to your side dishes, main dish, dessert, breakfast foods, all kinds of things, breads, all kinds of cool stuff you can do with it. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will see you again really soon.